Hi, and welcome to Life Daily with Dawn. I am Dawn Richerson, and we are continuing our All Systems Go video series. We're looking at the 24 life systems or solar systems to come to life and live in full expression. This is all about life thriving, and we are in the midst of looking at the star systems, which is the second system set of 8 map systems, each one comprised of 8 momentum action pathways, which make sort of a map for life within a particular area, and then together they work as one cohesive unit. And because you are a dynamic and sustainable system, fully equipped for thriving, these are like the activators. So if you think of all systems go, it's like, you're turning on the lights of the, so you're booting up the system, and you're reconnecting to your essential self, your essential journey, your essential truth. And right now we're looking at your essential journey. We're looking at the life you are at your core, and how can you bring that more fully to life and begin to integrate the life that you are into the way that you move through the world. So it's about a whole new way of being yourself, a whole new way of being in the world, and understanding that that movement in your life. It's about movement, and it's about beginning to really move into a greater flow of abundance and life thriving. So today's life map system is the future map system. And this is about connecting to your essential journey. And as usual, at least with the star systems, this middle system set, future is an acronym. And so these momentum action pathways are about finding unity together and understanding radiant expansion in order to bring your future and our future to life. So I'll repeat that. Pathways to find unity together and understand radiant expansion to bring your future to life. So let's take a look at the 8 momentum action pathways that together are a map to the future. So number 1 is, perhaps surprisingly, because we're talking about the future and this does have collective implications, but number 1 is, as usual, we begin within. We expand radiantly from within. So number 1 is to look within and look again. See the beautiful lines that connect one facet of who you are to another, and really begin to discover the sacred seeds of essence that you come bearing, the seeds of promise that are hidden in plain sight right there within you. And so really take a look at the variety of gifts that you're naturally wired with. It's not something, we're not talking about skills here or things that you've learned. We're talking about just who you are. So take a look at that, and you'll often see those gifts reflected in the lives of others, in the contributions of others. You'll be drawn to something, and the thing is, often there's a seed of that within you. So begin to really take a closer look at you and who you are. Number 2 momentum action pathway is to honor and appreciate others. From a state of wholeness and knowing that you are whole as you are right now, begin to celebrate the value and wonder of each person and each situation that you encounter. So notice who and what is drawn to you, and who and what you are drawn to. Begin to just pay attention a little more carefully, and then without judgment, choose to release with love anyone or anything that no longer is resonant with who you are, and release all that would hold you back from being fully who you are. So, but as you do that, notice we didn't start with release. That is a part of this, but it's about honoring and appreciating others. So there's often an imbalance when we do this, and from my observation, we fall into 2 camps. Either we err on the side of not honoring or appreciating anyone, usually not even ourselves, and certainly not others, and so we just kind of go through this world in a sort of dog eat dog kind of way. And the other is to fall into the trap of honoring and appreciating others, or thinking you are doing that, but basically having not enough boundaries or self-respect or respect even for others in order to move through the world with true integrity. So consider that the idea of wholeness and integrity, integration. It means, it doesn't mean that you simply, are blown about in the wind and allow anything to occur. And so there is a way, however, to honor and appreciate others while you are also maintaining strong energetic boundaries, and maintaining that flow of love and the purity of that love. It's difficult because often in our culture in particular, in the West particular, at least my own perspective on this, based on my own conditioning, is that to have boundaries in the first place for me, but also to maintain the love for people who are acting like, are certainly not honoring or appreciating you, is often maligned or looked at suspiciously. And you have to drop that too. You just have to learn that, you in and of yourself, you know who you are. And when you know who you are, and when you see the beauty in others, alongside less than beautiful actions or thoughts, etc., behaviors, and feelings, and also a lot of things projected. We live in a world of rampant projection, but there is a way to honor and appreciate, to hold all in a state of love, and yet to without judgment, just simply to release what is not, what is no longer resonant, or what is clearly depleting your own resources and moving into a place of finding unity and understanding radiant expansion together, the future. So Momentum Action Pathway 1, look within again and again. Momentum Action Pathway number 2, honor and appreciate others and release what is no longer resonant. Number 3, give compassionate consideration to all you have believed. So consider the conventions that you willingly adopted for your life. These could be beliefs, these could be approaches, these could be a narrow lane, or a structure that was either given to you, put upon you, or that you created for yourself out of what you thought was self-protection or maybe the right path at that time. So as you reconsider conventional wisdom, you want to tune your life to the frequency of love, and notice the threads held in common with notice the threads of belief, and that you might have at one point considered a stranger or other or a foreign idea, and just begin to notice that. You might still actually feel like, don't know about that. That's okay. So just begin to notice and give compassionate consideration to everything that you have believed that maybe, because there is a disillusionment that we all go through when we come up against this, and it's quite difficult to make this transition. And so the invitation here is to just be compassionate toward yourself primarily, but also toward those who perhaps put something upon you, perhaps when you were young, that you now see has created situations that are less than what you would want for your present circumstance or your future. So number 4, Momentum Action Pathway, is to choose to celebrate diversity. So this is about seeing the unique expressions of the one light, the one life, the one love, and seeing the life and the love that unites us, and beginning to turn your attention to the shared grace that holds us, the infinite grace in which we are held, and beginning to discard all notions of competition or scarcity or lack. It is not a dog-eat-dog world, and there is no competition. There are many parallel offerings. There is no true lack in terms of at the level of life, because life is about flourishing, and even in the worst of devastations, fires and storms, there is regeneration. And if we can trust in that larger context, everything shifts, and we begin to celebrate the diversity. In other words, if you think of it in terms of nature, we begin to celebrate the dying leaves in the fall. We begin to, and the falling leaves, and we begin to celebrate the wheat field under the hot sun, and we begin to celebrate the storm that sweeps through, and we begin to celebrate. Now, it doesn't mean we celebrate the effects, negative effects in the moment to our lives, but what it does mean is that we know that there is something larger at work here, and that we can celebrate unique expressions of life and all of the stages and phases of life and all of the ways that shows up in our own lives, in terms of work life, in terms of relationship or love, in terms of friendship, in terms of health even, and cycles of abundance and or perceived lack. And certainly at the time I'm recording this, we are confronted with many of these in a myriad of ways. And we can celebrate the diversity of how other people and ourselves choose to show up in any given circumstance, and allow that just to be. So number 4 momentum action pathway is to make a choice to celebrate the unique expressions of life, the cycles of life, and the grace in which we are all held. Momentum action pathway number 5 is to maintain an orientation toward expansion and growth. So you want to always lean into and align yourself with the life more abundant. That is shared by all of us, and it's miraculously multiplied in our sharing of it. That's the beauty of life, of flourishing humanity, of nature's beautiful recreation. So begin to adopt models in your own life of cooperation and collaboration, and know that there is an infinite supply of light and life and love. Momentum action pathway number 6, trust that each person has all he or she needs. So know that every person, regardless of their choice, will be met by grace along their life's essential journey. There are consequences certainly for our choices and actions, and this is what's hard for us as humans to witness, and particularly with someone that we love, and yet ultimately that person will have the opportunity to learn, to grow, to receive life, and life to the full, always, without judgment. And so adopt models of cooperation, collaboration for your life, and really remind yourself continuously that there is an infinite supply, and you are fueled from within. That light and that life and that love is within you, and it is within every other single person and group within society and the whole of society. And so this is a balance really about letting go of creating the perfect world, the utopia, and rather leaning into the fact that it is beautiful as it is, and living that life. The 6th momentum action pathway, I said 6. Number 7 is to become a universal model of living in full expression. So this is about continuing that process of connecting to your core, the light and the life and the love that you are, and to the infinite supply and flow of grace in you and through you, and that meets you on the way. And then momentum action pathway number 8 is to seek always to uplift, honor, and appreciate, to give and receive in equal measure, and to seek and find joy in unexpected places. So celebrate the ways that you are bringing your future and our future to life as you embrace a whole new way of being yourself in the world. And be gentle with yourself as you are making that transition. It's something, while I've been attempting to do so and practicing this for a number of years now, almost a decade, it's still in every day there's some new challenge with that, because it's we don't live in a world of one. We live in a world of many beautiful souls making this journey together side by side. And so that is the future map system to bring your future and our future to life. I will repeat the momentum action pathways for you. These are pathways to find unity together and understand radiant expansion to bring your future to life. So these are like keys of understanding of essentially abundance and radiant expansion, and the nature of life, which is reflected in the natural world. So number 1, look within and look again. Really see the lines of connection between all aspects of who you are. Number 2, honor and appreciate others, and then from that state of wholeness, release what is needed to be released. The third momentum action pathway is to give compassionate consideration to everything you have believed or, conditioning, conventions, all of that. Number 4 is to choose to celebrate diversity and to see the unique expressions of life and the cycles of life. The 5th momentum action pathway is to maintain an orientation toward expansion and growth. The 6th is to trust that each person has all he or she needs. Number 7, to become a universal model of living in full expression. And number 8, to seek always to uplift, honor, and appreciate. So I hope you have enjoyed that. Tomorrow we make a bit of a shift, and we move into the final 3 star systems. The star systems are all about your soul's truth and radiance. And we're going to be looking at, these 3 are very practical and they will appear to be very narrowly focused. They are called the business map system, the brand map system, and the book map system. And yet they are much broader than those titles suggest. So join me, and I will see you for our next Life Daily with Dawn. Have a great day.